Hello, welcome. Okay, one requisite to illustrate the problem. Yeah, so I'm a software developer and I'm a motorcycle driver. Okay, and it's my privilege to be here for the first time. My name is Rafał Łojek and I came here from Wrocław. Surprise, surprise, on the motorbike. So, what do we have in common? Who's here a motorcycle driver? Is there an owner of that beautiful blackbird that stands in front? Awesome bike. For those that you don't know, that was first 300 kilometers from factory bike. So, as a programmer and driver of a motorcycle, I noticed that there are some commonalities. A lot of IT guys actually drive a motorbike. A coincidence? A sign? There might be something in there. So, what common things do we have in our passions? Because this is a way of living, yeah? So, it's a cool activity. Yeah, the motorcycling cool, programming cool, hacking cool. Awesome appearance. If you think that leather jackets, you know, the chains, chromes, crash helmets from the Gestapo units, that's cool. And also, you know, the developers sitting in that nice sweaters with rhomboid or deer shapes on it. Cool, awesome look. A lot of excitement. Our work is excitement. We can do with the high technology, we do with business, customers as well. Driving a motorcycle, especially when someone try to hit you from the right side of the corner, it's excitement. We have great affection of power, processing power, capacity power, access power, engine power. And we are speed addicted. You know, there's nothing cooler than fast compilation, fast tests, fast delivery, fast driving. And also we are subject of common misconceptions, like, oops, and now I need to press the down key, exactly. So, what misconceptions? This, or this, or this. Neither our activities usually looks like this. And there's a one common thing together. What's bad things happens here. Another common thing that we are addicted to power of control. Imagine when you're developing a software or set up a system, you're in the total control of the thing, how it would look like, what technology, control, language we'll use. Be honest, if you take the book for programming of a new language, you check flow control. And the thing is about driving a motorcycle or any other vehicle, that using your small muscles, small input actually, you gain a control of the whole process. The way you turn, the way you accelerate, the way you brake, everything. And, oh, god damn it. Again, down. But there's another common thing. We crash as hell. Please take attention, what happens to a driver. And now, and 1, 2. That is from 2010 Isle of Man race. The guy survived that. Actually, when I was putting that presentation, I found an interview with him about that accident. I was not able to listen to the end. It was so still valid for me. I remember that race in that year. So, of course, a risk in motorcycle driving is obvious. Injuries, death, casualties in equipment. In IT project, usually we lose a lot of money, time, reputation. Reputation in IT business is getting bigger and bigger issue. And actually, because our bosses, our brands put their names in the project that they work on. So it's a big value, actually, the reputation of a company. Just remember Obamacare project. It just destroyed the reputation of the President of the United States. So, but maybe not only money there's. And actually, bug or software issue can be deadly. One of the most spectacular and sad example is the bug in the Patriot anti-missile system that was deployed in 1991 during the Desert Storm. Rocket missed an incoming enemy missile only like 300 meters. It caused more than 20 deaths and more than 90 injuries in the target area. Moreover, there was a famous case that some bugs or misconception in software of radiation medical equipment caused totally 24 deaths because of overdose of the radiation. And one of my favorite things, it was during the development of new jet fighter from Saab, Gripen, was that one experimental pilot during the final testing have to eject 3 times in a row from the same machine over the runway just after the takeoff because of the same reason. Fly-by-wire system, you know, that's the system that translates the movement of the joystick to the movement of the control planes, was wrongly programmed. Guy quit his work. He went retired after that third eject case. So maybe he listened to the voice of destiny. Okay, next one. Survival reactions. So I mentioned accidents. I show you quite tremendous accident on motorbike. I mentioned some accidents on IT projects. You can list those accidents a lot. And it happens in our brain that when some things go scary, you try to apply survival reaction. That's the reactions based on our instincts and our experience that should save us. But actually, in both cases, driving a motorcycle and IT project, those survival reactions that are kind of inside us will lead to a crash. What kind of crash? What kind of survival reactions do we have? On motorbike, we've got, wow, very bad, sorry. So, on the motorbike, we've got defined 7 or 8 reactions, depending how to name. It's mainly like body steering, that it means that you used to roll the bike with your body. No. Rapid movement on the throttle, the brake stand bike jumps up and down, and it usually goes outside the turn into the bushes. Also, you try to your bike goes down, you goes up, because it's not natural to you to lean deep in the corner. We've got something like tunnel vision, so we look on the very, very thing that you don't want to hit, and you finally hit it because you look at it. And also things called related to frozen on controls, that you don't will to change your control. You actually forget to steer, to change your course. Have you seen that not willing to change the course in an IT project? Who didn't? So, some examples for you to feed your brain. And it's not drastic, I hope, and I hope that it will download. Okay, I have to go here and click, probably. Yeah. And there he goes. So, for those that you not notice, I will pause this. I can pause it, yeah. So the thing happened here, replay, you want to? If I just can hit, because it's so small. Okay, it's bigger here. So, the thing is that it will be slow motion. The guy actually look, the very point that he hit. And in the middle of the turn, instead of going deeper on control, it's quite relatively easy on a bike to put it deeper, he hit the rear brake. And you can see he blocked the rear wheel in. That's the end of the game. So, next case, please. Next case. Yes. No, back. Yeah, down. More spectacular. It's called high side. High side always looks nice. So, guys goes in the corner, looks good. Yeah. Turn left. And eject. It's not like a situation that was very mild accident of high side. Usually driver goes like 3 to 5 meters up, bikes follow him, and there are some cases that actually bike hit the guy on the ground in the end. What happened here, he were too fast, no margin for correction. And one moment the tire said, no. Bike turned sideways, and in one moment the side friction was so high that the force threw him out of the bike. On the slow motion you can see that moment in a minute. So there are very subtle things that happens there, and our survival reaction, like using the brake in the moment, not leaning enough, going too fast in turn, and all those things lead to that. And last one, that's for contrary low side. That's the situation when front tire loses the contact with the street and bike like try to fall between your legs. By the way, I was the victim to the first case once. So it is quite mild, but look on the slow motion. It explains what happened here. Give a moment, and there's a slow motion now. Look how the front of the bike goes down. That indicates that the driver was braking all the time in the turn. And in one moment, the force required to go left and brake was too much for tire. And he slips. So that was quite mild cases of survival reactions in action. So as you see, although we do have our survival reactions embedded and they feels right, they lead to problems. Survival reactions in IT that I was able to observe. By the way, I work in the business like 11 years now. It doesn't matter what I do now to that topic, but I had a chance to see good projects, bad projects, panic projects. You know, the project starts with enthusiasm, euphoria, then we've got scary, then punishment of people innocent and giving rewards to people not involved. So that's the basic phase of projects. But we also have their survival reactions on the project. So I defined 6 of them. Tell me if it was not in one of those situations. Sticking to the old ways. So your project management, project team does not will to change the way they work. They do not accept or embrace the change around them. You know, IT business changes fast. That's agreed upon fact. We were cutting testing, draw tech depths, delivering a prototype solution, throw more hands to fight the fire, and wishful thinking. I will go through all of them now. So, sticking to old ways, already told, it beautifully manifests in that situation that we have issue with contract that we will not feel, okay, let's not change the way we work, we will give out to our lawyers, they will do some mumbo-jumbo in the end if the customer is not satisfied. And also, we will not write automated tests, we'll never did it, always works, and so on. A lot of that ways that people tend to do the things the old way. Next one, cutting tests. That's my favorite. And also Robert C. Martin mentioned in one of his posts that in time of hurry, people try to stop writing tests or putting attention to test automation. Okay, it looks fine because I can push the software 2 days before, a week before the final estimations, but in the end, if you have to refactor, retest, change something, you are slower because you don't have that regression mechanism, that safety net that allows you change software, fix bugs, and so on. So survival action, yes. I'm going to be faster. I'm going to keep deadline. Good end? No. Next one. Draw tech debt. It's very related to cutting tests, but it's more on the kind of infrastructure delivery system. So we stop upgrading libraries, stop paying attention about do we use the proper infrastructure, and so on, so forth. We are duct taping our delivery process, name it. And as one of speakers mentioned before, the tech debt, but the name suggests that you can't avoid it, and you will pay with the interest. And as Mr. Venkat mentioned some time ago, bank, when you are in a problem in debt, they will not kind of tell you no against next loan. They will give you loan because they want you not in the problems. They want you to be in the big problems. The same thing about technical debt. Next thing, delivering a prototype solution. That's one of my favorites. So imagine one beautiful day, a manager walks to the room and say, yo, my fellow brave developers, I have a great idea for a product. Let's take X, duct Y, have some feed from A, and then we can sell that to the customers with some nice results. But I don't know it work. Could you take that technology, that data feed, and tell me if it's possible? So the guys spend a week having fun, prototyping, and they walk proud to the manager room, says, yeah, we can do it. We use a lot of duct tape, nails, but it works. So the old product owner says, great, add user interface and I will sell it. Have you seen that? Anyone? Yeah. So lot of products. Yesterday I have a chat with my friend from big company from Krakow that is willing to buy us coffee today, and they told me exactly the same story that was lasting for 4 years. So it happens in the small and big scale. Next one, survival reaction. Throw more hands to fight the fire. So there is a situation. We will not meet a deadline. The project is quite big, and suddenly we decide, let's hire 10 more developers. They will help us to code that problem. Now, if one woman can deliver a baby in 9 months, then 9th woman will deliver a baby in month time. Yeah, pipelining. Or rowing an ocean, the same analogy. And would it work? Okay, we know that usually that don't work. Why? People that don't have domain knowledge, you have to introduce new guys to the project, so on and so forth. But there's a mathematics behind that. Simple one. Can you tell me what are those numbers? It's a fractional. Silnia in Polish. But there's a catch. If your team size grows, the number of possible communication channels grows like that. So, nevertheless, employing delay related to introducing new people to the project and domain, the scale of the communication problems will grow. Yeah, okay, that calculations can be divided easily by 2, because channels goes in and out to the same person. So, but you see the ratio of the growth clearly. Wishful thinking. We will do that project. We are the great team to do that. And we will not look to the previous implementation. It was failure. We have better tools, better frameworks. We will use awesome technologies that we don't know. We are a fresh team. We have no domain experience, and we'll do that in the half time required by the ulamers before us. Have you seen that scenario? Yeah. So that's another survival reaction. When you hit a problem, you try to do everything to prove that you will manage to deal with that. And that's not always... Okay, usually you will manage to deal with almost any problem, but we have to be humble in our estimations. Bounded underestimation, and that works in 2 layers for me. The first area is our personal estimation of the developer's effort and talent. There is some kind of inside feeling that if I give too high estimation, if I include all testing, all the things that can go wrong, the estimation will be big and I will look like not qualified enough for the job. The same thing happens on the company level. If the customer came and asked the company owner, can you give me an estimation how long time it will take to provide that product to me, they tend to underestimate because they want to be competitive in the software developer market. This way, there's no margin for error, no margin to avoid things that can pop up, and they will pop up. This IT business, things happens. And the same thing about motorbiking. If you have not enough margin on going into the corner, strange things may happen. Oops. The guys were very lucky and skilled in that situation. They avoid unavoidable by braking because they have a margin, the margin of speed, margin of space. We need that space as well as in project for prototyping, testing, technology change, requirement change. So keep it in mind. So to be closer to the end, watch where you're going because you're going where you're watching. That's the rule of driving a vehicle. Usually when you fix your eye on one point, you will hit that beautifully. On IT project, that was my lesson for the project I work on now for 5 years. It is find out, confirm, and follow the project objectives. Those objectives can be hidden. Although it sounds, please provide me new engine for our processing, actually it means, please reduce the cost, simplify the infrastructure, and you can leave the code as it is, but make it more manageable. And that was my case for last few years. The project is over now, but that was the biggest learning lesson for that project, that you have to sometimes find that not spoken business objectives of your project. Keep it in mind. I was working on that presentation, and night before I left for Krakow, I found out that I'm missing something. So the question is, what qualities, what kind of attitude, our way of living, acting is common for a good driver and good developer? So I have such a proposition. First of all, you need to be ready to experience new roads. Secondly, you are good at riding on your own, but you have to be ready to team up to have better performance. Secondly, or for the third time, be aware of your advantages and disadvantages. On your own, you have a lot of assets, but you've got a lot of drawbacks. If you combine that with the team and the self-awareness of those capabilities, you can do much, much better and go much more faster. And enjoy every ride. Not always we'll send a man to a moon. Sometimes we'll drive from Krakow to Wieliczka by railroad. But why not we make a Hoover magnetic railroad from Krakow to Wieliczka? In IT world, not always vanilla project, but those legacy can learn you a lot. Enjoy them as well. Continuously improve yourself. Learn, observe things, use that iteration of the agile methodologies that you have a period of work, then you go to retrospective, that you conclude some observations, and then you apply changes and observe the results. The same things happens on the road. Okay, I had one more thing here, but I forgot it, so I won't lie. And finally, always think about reaching your destination safely. That's not the art to go through the 1-2 corner fast. The art of achieving goal is getting there and back, like Frodo Baggins. And the same thing about riding a motorbike. That's a motto that I want to go back to visit, to see my family again. The same thing about IT project. It's not about trying fancy technology, new frameworks. It's about having that project successful, survive with your colleagues, make people that pay you money happy. Thank you. That's all. Now that you know, enjoy your ride.
We have time for a question.
Anyone?
One question? No? Yes, it is.
That looks nice.
Which time you went back to Wrocław? We can fly together.
Actually, I'm staying to the 5 p.m. and then below 120 kilometers per hour, I will rolling my ass back home.
5 p.m. Okay. We see. Which bike do you ride?
Red BMW.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your attention.